Hello, this is Reverend James at St Mary Barnes, and I wanted to say something about Maundy Thursday. The term Maundy comes from the Latin for a new commandment, and these were the words that Jesus said to his disciples at the supper that he shared with them on that first Maundy Thursday, where he said, "A new commandment I give to you, that you should love one another." And in usual years, we symbolize that through the washing of feet of one another, just as Jesus washed the feet of his disciples, something that was seen as a menial servant's job. He said, this is the sign of how you should be serving one another, not lording it over, but helping one another, loving one another. And so we remember that particularly at our special service on Maundy Thursday evening. We also receive the oils that are used in the ministry of healing in the church and ministering to those who are sick. They are blessed in the cathedral each year, and we receive them here at the church. And we also remember Jesus' Last Supper with his friends, which we now call Holy Communion. And we remember the institution of Holy Communion, particularly on Maundy Thursday. So a lot of things happen. It's a time of celebration in many ways of the fellowship that Jesus had with his disciples and of that core teaching about loving one another. But then it's like a drama unfolding on Maundy Thursday, because as the evening progresses, we go from commemorating the Last Supper to making the church completely bare of all its ornamentation. And our focus becomes more on the cross, which you can see suspended in the church above me here. And at the end of our service here in the evening, we then make our way to the Langton Chapel. So we go from the new part of St Mary's Church through to the Langton Chapel. And we gather here in prayer. And we gather here, this is the ancient part of the church, and we gather here also because it symbolises the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus prayed to his Father. He prayed that the journey he was taking to suffering and to the cross could somehow be avoided, but in the famous words says, "Not my will, but yours be done." And we gather in prayer, remembering Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane before we come on to the events of Good Friday. So do remember the special nature of Maundy Thursday. Do come and join us if you would like to at 8 o'clock in the evening for the special service. And then afterwards we have a time of quiet prayer and reflection here from about 9 o'clock onwards in the chapel right through to midnight, as we spend this time reflecting on our own journey of life, our own faith in God, and maybe the absence of that faith and all the burdens that we are carrying, knowing that as we remember Jesus, we remember his suffering and his suffering alongside and for us.